So, dann die nächste Runde. Genital Jousting. Yeah. Dann wollen wir mal. Hey, raus.
Dancing, the real way to flirt, the way of animals, of wild sexual creatures. John strutted and shook his booty. With booze buzzing round his head, John found himself on the dance floor. Everyone was up close and sweaty. John was exhilarated. He felt alive.
Nein! Ah, das Ball ist genau okay.
John was working himself up to try a little bump and grind. It was a moment out of a movie. John alone on the dance floor with a gorgeous penis.
Den holen wir uns
Their
doch.
sexual chemistry
Bam.
exploding.
Ab geht's.
She moved away.
Nein!
John could tell when someone was playing hard to get.
Jetzt mal den Balls, ich glaube, das ist einfach. Oh Gott.
He let her marinate in the tension before making his move.
Jawohl. Make your move.
John wasn't taking no for an answer.
Oh. Ich dachte, ich beeindrucke sie
Some
jetzt,
people have no sense of
die ich im
fun.
Kreis bewege.
But John was certain the next bar would be different.
Geht's? Ah.
The next bar wasn't different. John couldn't understand why everyone was so sensitive. It was like no one wanted to have a good time. Like no one had a sense of humor. John had meant that as a compliment. When did the world get so uptight? John's ego was as bruised as his shaft. He had to admit it. He'd failed.
Yeah.
He was where he belonged, in a creepy murder alley covered in trash.
Mörder. Hey, komm doch. Wohl. Oh. Okay, geht doch nicht.
John would have to go through the garbage to get out. Oh, that's gross. Oh, it's so moist, but textured. It smells like rotting dick yogurt. John's misery was sour in his mouth. He needed a drink to wash it down. There was still one bar he hadn't been kicked out of yet.
Oh.
John had cleaned himself up as much as possible. He really needed a minute.
Gedrückt. Passt ja. Also. Ach Mann. Das geht nicht.
John got it in, but he needed more.
Yay.
Nailed it.
Nein! Du scheiß Automat.
John let out his anger, his frustration. Life was a shitty joke. It wasn't fair. You want to mess with John? Do you?
Do you?
This is what you get. Fuck you, you fucking thing. You had one job. Die, 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 die!
Ah,
It's not fair. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not.
yeah, Manni.
That's
Nee,
how you get what you want.
Süßigkeit da.
Menthol.
Menthol. Oh Gott. Oh, da ist einer.
John wanted the strongest drink they had. Rough night? Someone asked John. He hadn't noticed her when he came in, but now he did. It really had been a rough night for John, but he felt a little better that someone cared enough to ask. Destiny had given him a second
Da
chance.
ist was zu trinken.
John made his move. Unfortunately, according to Alice and to her boyfriend Chadrick, it was the wrong one.
Oh. Oh.
Chadrick threw John into the alley and followed, making unoriginal but still terrifying threats. Get him, John! I can't watch.
Yeah.
Don't hold back! John had survived. No, he'd won. He'd won! He'd won!
Yay.
He wasn't a loser. And there was the proof lying in a bruised, bloody heap. John didn't need a date to the reunion. He needed to go over there and beat the pre-cum out of those dicks. High school reunion, the perfect time to teach someone a lesson.
Auf hier. Hi.
The doors of the school. A
Ah,
sight John had dreaded
geht's.
every day for years, and now he was going willingly through them, unafraid, fueled by years of unprocessed anger fermented in loneliness. John was back. The chickens were coming home to roost, and they were all cocks.
Mein Pullis. Oh Gott. Oh Gott. Seid ihr Bullis? Ah, noch einen. Ah, die werden
These
wahrscheinlich
were
so
the peanuts
irgendwie
he'd grown
markiert
up
sein, oder?
with. Now with jobs and marriages and beer bellies, John was surprised at how ordinary they had all turned out. He spotted them, John's tormentors. Time for them to
Right?
feel
Yeah.
the wrath. Pow! Shake off the pain, buddy. That's the stuff, John.
Und mit Anlauf.
Careful. Don't let up. Fight back, John.
Eichel um Eichel.
Ow!
Verdammt, verdammt, verdammt. Ein bisschen. Oh, nein,
Dodge!
geht weg. Jetzt.
Get in there.
Oh, verdammt.
John poured his anger into every punch.
Hoppala.
Ha! Who's a loser now?
Crack.
Who?
Jawohl.
Whoa!
Uiuiui.
How do you like that? Ha! John had won. He'd won. No one could say John was a loser now. John's primal joy faded as he saw how the other penises looked at him. Not like a winner, like he was trash.
Oh, rausgeschmissen.
John tumbled down the steps, hitting every bruise on his length and his ego. It was her, Harmony. She had been at the reunion. She'd seen it all and followed John out. To laugh at him more? No, to see if he was all right. Why did that hurt John so much? This was John's chance to ask her why all those years ago she'd said to him, "No one will ever love you." Harmony stared at John in shock. How could John not know why? Didn't John remember what he'd done?
Oh, was hat er denn getan? Gut. Okay. Was zum...
There was nothing Sam enjoyed more than the fresh air of an early morning. The dew sparkling on the grass, the music of the trees, space to think.
Ah, okay.
Sam stared at the view, peaceful.
Dachte schon Tastatur. Aber nee, ist der rechte Stick vom Gamepad.
What was that smell? It made Sam's eye water. It was John, passed out and crusted with vomit and regret.
Oh, weg da. Genau, und du nur am Bad.
John was awake and tolerably clean. Sam tried to be gentle and invited John to join him on his walk.
Das ist ja gut. Gott.
Sam coaxed John along. It was like herding compost.
Wow. Aufwachen.
John couldn't answer Sam's questions yet. How had he ended up such a wreck?
Oh Mann. Oh. Oh, hoppala. Oh, oh.
If only John could fly away from his pain as easily.
Muss ich da nicht was kaufen?
Sam saw his friend's misery. He suggested they keep going. John wanted to know something. Why didn't anyone love him? As soon as he said it, he felt like a softie, whining about his feelings.
Oh, die Dinger kann ich doch einsaugen. Einsaugen. Wow.
But Sam didn't make fun of him. Sam asked him to go on. And so John told him the whole story. About how hard he'd made himself and how unfair it felt. And everything he'd done.
Ist das auch so? Eigentlich da? Okay, aber da zählt dann nichts, oder?
Saying it out loud, John realized he'd sounded like an asshole. But he'd done everything right. Why didn't he get what he wanted? Why didn't John get love?
Was ist denn da los? Hey.
Wanting someone isn't the same as loving them, said Sam. You figure it out, John. But you have to keep trying. How about a bike ride? Sam asked. John struggled to get his balance, but Sam told him not to give up. John kept trying, getting better as they went.
Man muss immer noch beide steuern. Wow, wow, wow. Wo ist er jetzt hin? Da. Nein! Hey, wieso gehst du nicht weiter?
John and Sam stopped and looked at the sunset. For a moment, John let himself be quiet and listen to the world and look at how beautiful it could be. Life can be hard, said Sam, but that doesn't mean we have to be.
The end? Ach, schleich den anderen auch. Ja. Okay, das war's wohl wirklich. Bang! Das muss ich sagen, überraschend guter Story-Modus. Also für 7 € echt okay. Wirklich okay. Und dann kann man ja wohl noch Multiplayer anscheinend online, lokal. Ich nehme an, das sind dann so die Minigames, die man da gesehen hat, die man hier im Story-Modus auch gespielt hat. Oh. Sam Wife. Wife and Kids. Hallo. Oh, da wäre noch ein Feuerlöscher. Verdammt! Oh. Du hast es fast geschafft. Oh Gott, oh Gott. Kann ich doch da runterhauen, oder? Oh, da wäre wieder so ein Ding. Oh, da hinten auch. Nein! Achso, kann ich ja hier, oder? Oh. Titanic. Oh. Hey, hi. Ah, da hätte ich jetzt noch hingekonnt. Okay. Ja, das war's mit dem Story-Modus. Genital Jousting. Ich muss sagen, ja, für 7 € echt guter Story-Modus. Dann, danke fürs Zuschauen. Macht's es gut.